What are some of the common go-to-market strategies that you can use in your pitch deck story? Let's find out. All right, now let's talk about some common go-to-market strategies and how you can use them. Now, of course, there are many project and business setups with different complexities, so I cannot be covering everything. However, there are some common strategies that you can model. So let's take a look to see if any of them can apply to you. Now, the first one really is to leverage existing leverage relationships within your current network, existing customers, partners, vendors to get the word out. And this is how I got started in 2013 when I started my own business as well. I made it announcement that now I'm transitioning from the corporate world and I wanted to start my own thing. So I had the first few clients were my colleagues, people who already knew me. They had worked with me before and they already know my work. So they were the first few customers that I helped. And the first few clients that we had with the company Full Connect, if you remember, that's the company that connects the construction industry with people who need dirt to people who have dirt, and it's a dirt exchange system. And some of the first users and early adopters were people also that we already knew. I did not know them personally, but they were friends and colleagues or through the network of my business partner at the time. So ask your existing network if they know anyone that is facing the problem that you're trying to solve. Remember, you're selling the problem, not the solution. Now, you might be surprised that if you just tell them what problem you're aiming to solve, that they themselves, their friends, their network, or some of their colleagues might be facing that problem as well. And so if you're selling the problem, they're going to be more inclined to refer you as someone having that solution. Now, tip number 2 would be to go for beta testers. Now, beta testers are people who are testing your products and services specifically to give you feedback. They're called beta testers because alpha testers would probably be you and your internal teams. You're testing your products and services, and now you invite people outside your organization to test your products so they can give you feedback. And more specifically, you're not just looking for feedback, you're looking to create case studies and success stories, and you want their testimonials as well, because then you can use this material to bring on more people. So this is a great go-to-market strategy. You might find many companies do that by giving out test products or maybe giving out free products, mainly so that they can get these case studies and success stories. So if you tell your network that you're looking for people to do beta testing for you, they're going to be more inclined than sending you clients, especially if they don't know if your products and services work yet. So if you tell them they're testing, then okay, sure, it's testing. And if it doesn't work, then they're not going to feel that they made a bad recommendation. Whereas if you tell them, send me buyers, this is going to be a little bit more tricky. So that's why starting with beta testers can be a great way to enter the market. Now, you might think that this would only work for small solutions, but I was surprised to see that one of my clients used it on a big project. He was developing a complex artificial intelligence solution, and he asked one of the global automotive companies to be his beta testers. I thought it was gutsy, but he did get them on board, and now they are one of his users and clients as well. So it's a great way to enter the market and get people to try your products as well. So you can also use this strategy on existing clients. More specifically, if you already have a product or service or a company and now you want to launch a new product, well, you can invite your existing customers and clients and say, hey, we're starting a new product or solution. Can you test it to give us your feedback? And that's a great way to launch a new product or service, or even pivot your business if you're trying to enter a new market and you find that your existing market is not necessarily profitable or your current products are not really profitable. You might want to make a change, and so you'd invite your current customers to try something new that can be more of a win-win situation where they get what they want and you're also making a profit. Now, the third tip here would be to use online platforms and marketplaces. So get listed on multiple marketplaces and platforms where people can find you, because people go to these websites specifically because they're looking for something. So for example, on Amazon or Etsy, if we're looking here at the chart from Statista, you can see here that Amazon and eBay and Etsy are some of the top visited websites in the world, because people are going to these websites specifically looking to something to buy. So they know what they're going to buy and they're searching there for what it is that they're buying. So if you get listed there on these websites, you'll get a sense before you open a store or an online store and you start paying for advertising and branding. You can use these platforms to test your products and see if people are finding them. Now, if they're not finding them, there could be something wrong. Maybe it's the name of the product, maybe the description, or maybe the packaging. Something is wrong where people are not finding your products and wanting to use them. So using these online platforms can be a great way to enter the market, test it, and then see if you should continue and invest more in that particular product. Now, another way to enter the market using online platforms is through online crowdfunding sites like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So, for example, let's go here to Kickstarter. You're going to see that they have many products that people are launching that have not been created yet. So the advantage here is you list your product and you're almost getting a pre-sale. So people get to pre-order when you haven't even created the product yet. So you can do a commercial and you can describe what it is exactly that you're developing, and then you list it and you say how much money you need to get that product to market. So looking here at one of their recent success stories, you can see that they have a lifelong deodorant. Let's revolutionize how we deodorize. So I watched the video, and the video is more about how they created this aluminum package that you can refill with a powder and water, and you can have that lifelong deodorant. So you're not throwing plastic, so they're trying to be environmentally friendly. The ingredients in the powder are plant-based. There are no chemicals, so you know that you're using something that's natural and not synthetic as well, and you know that you're not harming the environment with the packaging as well. So now going back to the top of the page, you can see here what they pledged was $14,750. That's what they needed to get that product going. So maybe that's what they needed to fulfill the initial order. And because the commercial was so well done and the description, it's a product that the market needs. So they found a market fit for it and a demographic that needs this kind of product. You can see here that they already have over 3,000 backers, which mean people who have prepaid for the product before they have even received it, and they have raised close to $500,000 instead of the 14,000 that they needed. And they still have 38 more hours to go, so it's very likely that they will cross that $500,000 mark. So this shows that this product is needed. So they already have this money. Now they can take this money and go develop that product and deliver it. So rather than create the product and spend so much time on advertising, not knowing if anyone will buy it, this is a great way to enter the market, because you're on a website where people are specifically looking for something unique as well to find. Now, another way, another strategy would be to develop an influencer strategy. That's when you reach out to online social media influencers in your target market so that they can help you spread the word. Now, influencers can be strategic partners. So pick influencers with followers that might be interested in your offer. So you might find influencers that do makeup, or they might be some influencers who are more vegan focused, or some influencers who like to travel. So depending on your products and whom your target market, you would want to pick influencers who have followers that would be your ideal customer as well. And the plan is that you would pay them so that they can post something on their social media platform to promote your products and services. Now, you can spend days trying to find them, or you can go to networks where they connect you with these influencers. So there are many websites online right now that introduce you to these influencers, where you can go and find out how many followers they have, what is the category of content that they post, and you can make a bid on having a post. Maybe you might want to send them a sample as well, or maybe you can just want to pay so that they do a shout out for your products and guide people to your store, or maybe guide people to your Kickstarter campaign if you are doing that Kickstarter campaign as well, or maybe to your Amazon store, just so that you can get that initial entry to the market. Remember, with the go-to-market strategy, you're trying to get the first few users so that you can build case studies and success stories, because if you have these with testimonials, you'll have that traction, so you can get on board more investors, you can get on board more partners, and of course more buyers. Now, another strategy would be the social media groups and forums. So join social media groups and forums where people who need your solutions might hang out. And that's how I got one of my big clients in 2014. I had already been in business for about a year, but I still needed a bit more clients. So I was in one of the marketing groups on Facebook, and one of the guys in the group posted that he needed someone with my services. So I messaged him and said, hey, you know what, I can do that. And I got him on board as a client, and we've been working together ever since. So he still sent me a bit of work here and there every once in a while, and he's also referred many people to me. So this has been a very profitable relationship working with this particular client, and it all started with one social media post on Facebook. Now, another strategy would be to be location specific. So if you focus your advertising or your launch on one specific location or one online channel, you can test and analyze and fine tune before wasting too much time and money as well. So you might want to choose a city that is where your ideal customer might hang out. So I remember one of my clients, they were launching an app for a specific application. So they looked for a city where most of the people that they're looking for were hanging out. So this made it an ideal city to launch that product as a pilot. And then if they get that success story, they can expand to different cities as well. So if you're, for example, if you're catering to people who are into the healthy lifestyle, you might look for cities that are known to have to be outdoorsy, to be more plant-based, to cities that are known for yoga. People who like to have yoga or meditation. There are many cities that are known to have that. So if you focus there first, you can get that market feedback from people who are your ideal customer, and then you can start expanding and seeing how you can capture people that are a little bit harder to get. Now, another strategy could be direct to consumer. So rather than just Amazon as well, you might want to try having your own online store and bypassing some of the middlemen as well. Now, this can work well if you are launching a product and before you approach investors or before you approach retailers to carry your products, because many people create a product hoping that some of the retailers can sell them for them. You can try to see, can you sell that yourself first through your online store? And this could be a good way if you know how to do a bit of advertising. Just get those few initial sales through your website. It could be also driven through some of the other networks as well, like the public networks from Amazon, then guide people to come to your website for a wider variety as well. So people will start looking for you to see what else do you have. And once you have that concept, you have that direct to consumer, then you can invest more in a physical product or approach investors and vendors as well. Now, this strategy works very well also for a restaurant. And I was very surprised actually when it did work for one here in Vancouver. Where I am located in Vancouver, there is a well-known restaurant for Middle Eastern food here called Yasma. And for a couple of years before they opened their physical location, they used to have a pop-up kitchen where they had delivery or takeout only. That's all that you could find. And usually you would find them through the delivery apps or on their Instagram account. They did not even have a major website at the time. And so as they built that following, people loved their food and they got that followers on Instagram. Then they realized, you know what, we've got something going on here. Let's open a location. And they ended up opening in the location that's not easy to find now, unless you live in that area or you know that they're there. It's almost hidden. You have to be walking by to see it. And I do know because I live close by, and many restaurants have attempted to open in that location, but they don't last long because people don't usually find them and it's a little bit out of the way. But in the case of Yasma, they're almost fully booked every night because they already have these followers, and they only open at night. They don't open at lunch. They still have that delivery and takeout throughout the day, but they only open for dinner. And so they're streamlining their process, and they're making it more efficient, because why spend money opening during lunch and having the staff on board when there might not be a lot of people during lunch in that location? They can still leverage the delivery and go to direct to consumer as well through their website as well. They have that order now, and at night they can cater in a dine out situation. Now, another common area would be affiliate or referral program. That's when you create incentives for affiliates to promote your solutions to your network and followers. Now, if you remember during the business model, I told you about that affiliate marketing program where you can represent other people's products and services and get a commission. Well, it works the other way around, where you have an affiliate program and you allow other people as well to represent your programs. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you give someone a commission for selling your products and services or for making it referral? Well, because it's much cheaper than paying for advertising. Advertising, you could be paying, but then you don't know if that ad will generate a sale or not. Whereas with affiliate marketing, you only pay them when they get you that sale. So now you can see that there are really many strategies that you can use as your go-to-market strategy. But the main thing is that when someone asks you, what is your go-to-market strategy? Can you recall what type of answer would you want to be giving them for your particular situation? Really, the summary of it is, what is your strategy to introduce your solutions to the market, whether that's internally or to the outside market? And as you can see with some of the examples I gave you here, really it could be any different way. So look for ways that are shortcuts, look for the low-hanging fruit in your particular situation that can help you enter that market yourself, or whether you're helping your clients on their behalf. How do they implement it within their organization, or if they're selling their products to their customers, how can they have that go-to-market strategy as well? And really the answers are going to be mostly from your business plan. So if you look at the business model Canva and rephrase the questions about what is you're going to do first, you'll find that most of the answers are there as well. So pick the answers that you know and create a slide to represent it visually and make it easy for people to understand right away what is your go-to-market strategy. How do you plan to get those early adopters to use your products and services? So my tips really here for you would be is answer what you know. You don't want to be making up stories. If you don't have any information to back this up, keep it out. Just answer what you know right now and avoid clutter. Focus on specific elements. You don't necessarily have to answer the whole thing. You can just pick one answer or two answers out of the big questions that you need to and focus on that and say that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on location. We're focusing on timing. We're focusing on this demographic. Just keep it focused and you get to guide that conversation. The main thing here really is to show that you have a plan and you have the go-to-market strategy on your radar. And the last step really is to help your audience understand how to implement your solutions within their organization, or if it is a project in your company, within your organization as well. So your action item for this section really is to create a go-to-market strategy slide, of course, if that is applicable to your particular situation. So go ahead, get started, and I'll see you in the next video.